What we do here at Suite 832, we take daily conversations, interactions, life experiences, and we dive a little deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And we do that by taking an authentic, genuine approach and just keeping it brutally honest. No fluff and puff.
Yep.
Welcome to another episode of the Suite 832 podcast. I am your host, your cool brother, Michael Atunzu.
And I am your other host, Jamison.
And today we're going to be getting into Just Do It. And that's going to be today's topic. But before we get into today's topic, how you feeling?
Feel good.
Feeling good? Like good, or like kind of good? Like what is
feeling?
good? Because when I say, when I don't want to say my coworkers, but when some people say, "How you feeling?" I'm feeling all right.
Yeah,
And
that's
they
the
really
go-to
be
response.
like,
Yeah. I'm grateful. Like I'm in just a grateful space right now. My birthday was not too long ago.
Okay, shout out to the birthday.
Still on a high from that.
Okay.
Just a high from gratefulness and just contentment. How are you?
I feel pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Things have been rolling my way despite a few obstacles. With some things, just some hiccups in the road.
Of course.
But it really goes back into being grateful. So when I think back, I'd be like, okay, I'll take, today wasn't a loss. I had a bad moment, but not a bad day.
Exactly.
So it's okay to have bad moments, but don't make that your day. And I had to realize that.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling good, grateful, at ease.
All right, so let's start off with a toast.
Okay.
I think today, I'll say what I toast to and you say yours.
Okay, cool.
I think today I want to toast to continued gratefulness and just keeping that ambition high.
Okay.
Just staying ambitious, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to toast to perseverance and awareness and knowing that, of course, you can have bad moments, but bad moment doesn't have to turn into a bad day, bad week. It's okay to trip, get up, pick yourself up. So I'm toasting to that.
Not get this wine on my white.
Nah.
I'm dressed all white like it's damn.
I don't know, like you're on a boat party.
Exactly.
Not new to this.
First Sunday.
Yeah, first Sunday.
Wildin'. Don't you slurp it? What is wrong with you?
Hold on, it hits different. If you
Where's the etiquette?
If you do a little slurp. Pardon me, you guys.
We see who grew up ghetto and who didn't.
Hey, don't call me out like that.
Nah, I'm playing.
Oh, man.
All right. So we're going to start this show with the icebreaker like we do.
Okay.
All the shows.
Yep, let's do it.
You pulled first last time, no?
I pulled first last time.
This segment is brought to you by We Are Not Really Strangers. It's a card game, but it's also a brand, Instagram page that's just big on going deeper than the surface, and I feel like that kind of aligns with what we are doing with Suite 832.
Yes. Shout out what we do here at Suite 832. We take daily conversations, interactions, life experiences, and we dive a little deeper. And we do that by taking an authentic, genuine approach and just keeping it brutally honest. No fluff and puff.
Yep. All right, so we got level 1 right here.
Okay.
It is perception. I'm just going to pick a random card.
Okay.
You answer the question.
Let's do it.
And then, do you want to do it to like where we flip it, or like we both answer each question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, level 1. Do I seem like someone who would get a name tattooed on myself? Why or why not?
Do you? Okay. First of all, for the audience, how many do you have tattoos?
I have one tattoo as this cross on my hand.
So you got Jesus on you. Okay. Okay.
Got a name on it. No, it's not even a name.
It's not
like
a name, it's a symbol.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jamison, do I believe you would get a name tattooed on you? The answer is no. I don't feel like you would get a name tattooed on you. I believe you're very symbolic, but at the same time, you're aware that a lot of things in life, especially in this life, are temporary. And I feel like that ink is going to be there.
Yeah.
unless you put a couple $100 to redo that.
Cover it up and stuff. Yeah.
But you answered the question, would you?
Yeah, because first of all, it said name.
Oh, name. Okay.
It didn't say romantic name.
Okay.
So yeah, like when I have kids, I put them on my body. It's nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Now, would I?
Yeah, would you?
Nah. I'm
Not even your kids?
I'm not putting
Do you have
kids.
Do you have tats?
I don't have tats.
Yeah, I
Look,
didn't think so.
little quick question, not question, but story.
Yeah.
I grew up wanting to have like
The
full
whole sleeve.
sleeves, chest piece, everything. I wanted to be that
Yeah.
guy. Like, I'm fit, but you're gonna see these tattoos.
Exactly.
Had everything planned out.
Yeah.
And then when I could actually afford tattoos, I was like, I'm kind of content not having it.
Same, yeah.
So to answer that, I wanted to tattoo any name on me. Just because I don't feel a need to,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know when it would stop.
What, the tattoo?
I go from my kids to my, I also love my cousins.
Yeah. You're wilding if you
my
put your
auntie,
cousins
my
on
uncle, why don't you got my name tattooed?
Oh my
God. Little do you know, I'm gonna have like all names. And then I don't know, I could go into faces too. It just becomes a whole thing.
Our topic today is just do it. Everybody knows it from Nike, everything, just do it. That's what you guys equated to. But today, I think we want to go a little bit deeper than the surface, and we want to kind of speak on just doing it in life and just doing it in your purpose and in your, what you're called to do and not really overthinking it. So what is something for you personally that you feel like you just did it? You didn't know if it was going to work. You didn't know if you was going to fall flat on your face. Like, you just did it because you felt like it was right in your spirit.
For me, it was I'm going to take y'all back. It had to go back to when I entered chiropractic school. Yeah. So for those who don't know, I'm a chiropractor. I work in New York, Upper West Side. I transitioned into Jersey. But for me, it would have to be entering chiropractic school, right? So all my life, I knew I wanted to be a doctor of some sort, help people out, as well as do that holistically.
Yeah.
And my avenue direction changed when I got into a crazy car accident in 2016. And I didn't know anything about chiropractic, but I started receiving care, and the doctor educated me about the nervous system, what goes on within our bodies, and it really just sparked a lot of curiosity within my head. Now, I'm taking a huge pivot because ideally I wanted to go to physical therapy school. So I was really considering that. Didn't know too much about chiropractic, but I started doing my research and just was interested. I felt like it just took a spark of curiosity and faith where I didn't really know about is this going to work out?
Yeah.
It costs a lot of money. Do I really want to do this? But instead of just contemplating back and forth, I just went ahead and applied to see if I'm even going to be able to get in.
Yeah.
And then saying, okay, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But let me at least go into the first quarter of the beginning of the program and see if it works. And I call that pretty much a leap of faith.
Yeah.
Not knowing if something's going to work out.
Yeah.
So that would be my example.
Do you feel like you do that often? Like you said, like how you got into the accident and you had to go through chiropractic, the whole process that comes along with that. Do you feel like you do that often with different things? Like you get a spark and then you like really like dive deep into it and like try to figure it out or like learn more about it. Like, is that your type of personality or?
I would say if it's in line with my purpose and my vision, I'm gonna take it on as long as it's not overwhelming.
Yeah.
Right. So it just has to fit in. Question for you: do you ever feel like there have been obstacles or distractions for you to go ahead and make a decision to do something? And when you do come across those distractions or stepping stones, how do you get past it.
As far as making decisions?
Yes.
I think for me, low key, like I'm the type of person that I'm not afraid to try something new.
Okay.
Like I may have like thoughts in the back of my head of like, dang, is this really gonna work? Like anybody that I feel like is around me, especially my family, I feel like they really know that I'm not afraid of like risk. I'm not afraid of like challenges. I'm not afraid of like literally getting it out the mud and like really building myself from the ground up of whatever it may be. Um,
Hmm.
so I kind of don't have an answer for that.
Yeah.
But as far as like distractions that may come along the way, I just I just remember why I did it in the first place,
Hmm.
basically. And I just kind of I'm very hard on myself too. So like I don't want to let myself down most importantly. And I also don't want all these people that may be like in my ear like saying, "Why don't you think about this?" or "Why don't you think about that?" or like, "Did you consider this?" instead of like, just like really being like not pessimistic, but just trying to make me overthink in some way. I don't want to be the type of person that like fails
Hmm.
and like be like, oh, I guess she was right. Like that's just not me. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So like I'd be hard on myself and I'd be like, I gotta win. It's like I'm winning or I'm not
Yeah.
doing it kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Really just putting yourself in a position to win, as
yeah,
well as keeping yourself accountable. I feel like we have to, at the end of the day, we have to be our own coach,
yeah,
right? So when you say you don't want to let yourself down,
yeah,
I want to touch on that because oftentimes I reflect back, and I think about how I was when I was in middle school,
yeah.
high school, college,
Hmm.
and what were my dreams and aspirations at that time.
Hmm.
Okay, how am I right now, and would my past self 5 years before this, 10 years ago, would they be proud of me right now?
Hmm.
Um,
I think that's an important tactic too when it comes to reflection because
mhm.
a lot of people don't. I don't want to say they don't know how to reflect, but like they kind of need guidance on that.
Yeah,
But I think using what you just said as far as like how would my younger self feel about where I'm at now,
yeah.
that is like big.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. For me, it's like, okay, how does God feel about this? Number one,
Mm,
right? Am I aligned with his kingdom agenda? Am I serving what he's called for me to do?
yeah.
And then one, how do I feel about this? Like,
Hmm.
do currently is this serving me?
Yeah.
Does my past self feel like, oh, this is it? Or would my
Yeah.
past self be like, bro, you're a clown. What are you
Yeah. What are you
doing?
doing?
Like,
Yeah. Literally saying fuck what everybody else is saying. Fuck what your parents may think. Not fuck what your parents may think, but like literally just literally not thinking
Mom and dad about to watch this and be like,
they'll be all right. Sorry.
yeah.
But no, literally like really being gun ho and like tunnel vision on what you feel like you want to do and like what you feel like is gonna serve your overarching purpose.
Mhm.
And not really letting the naysayers come in. Because me moving to New York, we talk about this often in our own time, but like me moving to New York was something that was very big for me. Didn't have a whole bunch of money saved in my account, didn't even have a place to live, didn't have a job that really would have sustained the way of life in New York City. But you laughing because you
Yeah,
feel
because it's the
it.
same. It's the same. I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you
I
for
feel like
me.
everybody got a story about moving to New York or somewhere crazy.
Yep.
But like, and of course, like parents being parents, they're the ones that are like trying to get you to think logically. But sometimes when you have like a dream and you have a goal, you can't always focus on logic because then that's taking the faith out of it. And like you said, like faith is very big when it comes to like your purpose. Like you said last episode, like faith is something that like purpose and faith goes hand in hand.
Hmm.
So whether you fall flat on your face, whether I moved here and fell flat on my face and needed to move back home 2 months after, so be it. At least I tried it. And I didn't have that regret, or I wouldn't have that regret later on down the line.
Yeah. No, everything's not gonna be clear cut, and the
Yeah.
enemy is gonna use logic, temptation, all sorts
Hmm.
of distractions. But you just gotta have that kind of discernment and anchored
Hmm.
into what your purpose is and driven towards, okay, I'm just going to do it and take a leap of faith towards moving in that direction,
Yeah.
right? I really love your New York story. We've talked about this, and it's very, it hits home because it's the same for me.
Yeah.
As in, I came to New York, came to New Jersey, New York area before I passed my last board exam.
Hmm.
It was in a relationship at the time. It was the best decision for us to, of course, move.
Yeah.
And not knowing, there was just so many different variables. And that can seem overwhelming, but just knowing that, hey, I'm going to make this leap of faith because it's the best thing for me and for
Hmm.
others. Uh, and I'm going to live with whatever happens,
Yeah.
right? And knowing that whatever risks may happen, it's just going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah. What do you
Uh,
think your purpose was for moving down here?
okay, so that's a good
And then I'll
question
give mine, but what's yours?
for moving up here.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
up here.
yeah, so the biggest thing to move up here was, okay, my partner at the time she was a resident at uh, a New York hospital, Mount Sinai, and
Hmm.
I just graduated from chiropractic school, so I was more flexible as far
Okay.
as where I can move and travel to. So I wanted to grow my relationship with her,
Hmm.
as well as B, I wanted to live outside of my comfort zone. Right. So I made the decision to get out of Georgia because I'm comfortable in that environment.
Same.
Parents were beyond helpful. Support group was beyond helpful.
Hmm.
Right. So getting out of that comfort zone really taught me a lot. So it's really I wanted to help and pour into my relationship, and then B, I wanted to grow. You can't grow in a sense of comfort, right?
No.
So you're gonna just have to put yourself in a unknown, familiar environment, and see how you can move from it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of the same for me too. Like in Atlanta, I'm not from Atlanta. You're from Atlanta.
yeah. I'm from like I would say 30 minutes
Yeah.
east from Atlanta. If you
Everybody
want to
call
get
everything
technical,
Atlanta.
Atlanta just keep growing.
It do.
Atlanta just keep growing. You know.
But I'm from a place in South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina. I made a first big leap of faith moving to Atlanta because I didn't know anybody in Atlanta leaving high school.
Yep.
But I knew that I wanted to get out of South Carolina. Um, Stayed in Atlanta for about 6 to 7 years or
Yep.
so. Went to college, all of that, did all of the hoopla. But similar to what you said, I got very like comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the creative field, and in the creative field, you can't like being comfortable kind of like is equal to like stagnation at the same time.
Yep.
I didn't feel like I was growing. I didn't feel like I was using everything that like God gave me. Like I didn't use all of my talents to the best of my ability. So I knew that I needed to move out here. One, because it's just always been a dream. Like somebody from a small town. Like
Yep.
I just want to be in a big city, New York.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to me, this is the biggest of the biggest
Yeah.
in the U.S. So I made that leap to finally move out here, knowing how expensive my lifestyle would be, how expensive just apartments would be, and just the expenses, the financial side of things,
Mm-hmm.
but also knowing that I have to build a whole new community and have to build like really like trust God in some way.
Yeah.
Well, not in some way, in all ways.
Yeah.
um, yeah, and I think that it was kind of I always say it is like the best decision that I've made to literally just do it and to just come out here and see what New York has to offer. And I feel like I'm still figuring that out and unraveling the pieces of why I was brought here in the first place.
Absolutely. So if you say, for example, right now, of course, I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, you're in a good
Mm,
space right now as far as where you're at. If you moved up to New York and things just crumbled,
mm,
right? So the risks actually manifested,
mm,
and you somewhat fell flat on your ass, and you crashed. How would
mm.
you get over that reality of failure and pick yourself up to continue growing, or would you kind of assess everything and move back? How would you deal with the failure and reality of
I don't know. It's crazy. That's something that I've never really thought about.
that?
Low key, moving back was never an option.
Yeah.
Um, but then it leads me to think like, what would failure look like if I moved out here and failed? Like, what would that look like?
That's huge because you got to define failure.
Yeah.
You know, it goes back to having a bad moment or a bad
Mm-hmm.
month or a bad transition. You got to define that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, you know, say things didn't work out for whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
as far as an opportunity, I just reassess, okay, how can I pick myself up, right? Can I still benefit from being in this city or being in New York or in New Jersey?
Yeah.
Or do I just continue shifting when there's a failure? And for me personally, I feel like if we're hit with adversity and challenges, if we're just going to continue shifting every time we reach adversity or obstacles in life, we're just going to be running in circles.
What do you mean when you say shifting?
Shifting?
Yeah.
As in, okay, this didn't work out. Okay, I'm going to be the best chef possible. Okay, I'm really terrible at cooking. So, you know, next I'm going to be the greatest architect possible.
Yeah.
I'm going to study that. Damn, I actually don't have a passion for this. I just keep moving from career to career.
Yeah.
And that's okay if you're finding yourself and you're trying to realize what do you like and what your interests are. That goes back to finding your purpose. But I feel like if you're rooted into what you believe in, your calling and your purpose, then just because route A didn't work, try route B.
Yeah.
Try route C. And also you have to reevaluate, okay, am I doing this my way?
Yeah.
Or can I lean towards God's way? Right? Because there's two different avenues about going about a goal or drive, a vision. You really have to assess.
Yeah.
So I'm more so, despite any kind of obstacle or risk you may come into, you want to reassess it and still go towards it, but just a different avenue.
Yeah.
Reset the GPS, if you will.
Yeah, I love that. Because I was gonna say, learn to adapt to failure. The bigger the dream is, the more failures you're gonna have along the way. And learning to adapt to those failures is getting comfortable with going along the process of getting to the end goal. So if you fail 1 or 2, 3 times, and you're like upset, and you're like, damn, what is this really what I'm supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
You're never gonna get to the end goal of anything you try to do. Or you're gonna be complacent and you're gonna settle for a life that you was disgusted by when you was 5 years old or like 10 years old or whatever. And it's so easy to do that. Oh my God, it's so easy to just be like, dang, maybe I'm gonna just work this 9 to 5, make as much money as I can,
Settle.
keep getting up at whatever time I gotta get to my job at.
Miserable.
Be okay with having a boss. It's so easy to do that. Like, I cannot stress that enough. It's so freaking easy to be, or to psych yourself out and to be okay with just
average, whatever.
Average.
Yeah, being average or whatever comfortable framework you have. It's easy to be like, I don't have to. Just fold on your dreams and aspirations.
Yeah.
But then, like, you know, when you think back and you're living with that regret and having that resentment or, dang, I really should have went for this at that time.
And
I don't know, that would eat me up inside.
No,
so.
for sure. Same.
Yeah.
I think for me, like when I get to that mode, I'll get in, I ain't gonna lie, like I get into like little depression modes where I just be like, dang, maybe I should just like call it quits. This just failed. I've been failing for all this time or whatever, quote unquote failing. Not knowing that it's building me up along the process at the same time. But I just get into a mode where I'm just like, maybe I should just settle for my 9 to 5. and just be okay with it.
How do you get out of that?
There's like it's so weird. There's a switch, and I think that this is important for anybody that feels like they're moving in their purpose. There's a switch that kind of turns on. I think I put this on TikTok before too. There's a switch that just like flips, like when I'm right there and on the brink of like giving up and just being like, I'm done with this. A switch of like the craziest ambition just comes on, and I just be like, God, that must be you. Or like that must be an angel, or like just this crazy God deposit that he set inside of me.
Yeah.
I feel like that switch just flips when it's like the times really get tough and I really be like, damn, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, that flip switches and I just get this ambition and this grind that I just never thought that I would have. And yeah, I feel like we all need to get into that, like turn into a different mode, like turn into a different beast, like literally.
Yeah.
Like literally turn into a different beast, become somebody that you never thought that you could be.
And the actionable steps of doing that is being aware of, okay, what do I want to accomplish?
Yeah.
Right? Write it down, as well as just taking some form of action, not knowing what's it going to lead to. Right?
Yeah.
So an actionable step, and then that's really the groundwork of it. And then of course having some kind of faith, action, and then moving.
Yeah.
Right? And just go, just do it. I know that sounds cliche, but write it down, put a deadline, and make it happen, and not worry about what kind of failure or risk or the naysayers. Block it out, put your headphones in, and stay 10 toes down to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. That was good.
That was good.
That was good.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us.
I could get just do it tatted on me. Think about it.
You gonna get a Nike check tatted on you?
If Nike want to sponsor me, holla at your boy.
But you said you like symbols and stuff, so you
I
can
do
get a
like
check.
symbols.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy.
Where would you get it? On your arm?
I don't know. Maybe probably the chest. That look crazy. I got to think about that.
Yeah, you got to think about that.
But thank you for hanging out with us on episode 2, Sweet 832 podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share this with anybody and everybody you may know. Jamison?
Follow us on Instagram at Sweet832pod. We would love to hear from you, hear any comments that you guys have. My name's Jamison.
You're cool, brother, Mike, and we will see you on episode 3.
Yes.
Love and grace. Y'all take care.
Sweet 832.